Welcome back. And top on the brief this morning, we start with that incident that made news over the weekend and continued into the week. Following the outrage that trailed the arrest and arraignment of minors over the #EndBadGovernance protest held in several parts of the country in August, President Bola Tinubu has directed the immediate release of all the detainees. This was disclosed by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on Monday after the president swore in 7 newly appointed ministers cleared by the Senate. Mr. Idris also says the president directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to immediately see to the welfare of those minors and also take a part to ensure their smooth reunion with their parents or guardians.
The president has directed that these children, these minors, be released immediately. This is, of course, without prejudice to whatever legal processes there are. The president has also directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to immediately see to the welfare of those minors and also take part to ensure their smooth reunion with their parents or guardians wherever they are in the country. Number 3, the president has directed that a committee will be set up immediately to be headed by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. It's actually an administrative committee to look at all issues surrounding the arrest, detention, the treatment, and finally the release of these young minors. And if there are any infractions found to have been committed by any official of government, be him a law enforcement agency or whoever that person may be, appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against him or her.
And President Bola Tinubu has called on the newly appointed ministers to see their work as a call to service. Speaking at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja on Monday, when he swore in 7 ministers into his cabinet, the president thanked them for accepting the call to service and described their acceptance as a very serious commitment.
You'll be part of people who will receive criticism and abuse. Don't worry. Stay focused. Stay resilient. Your thank will come with the history of growth and prosperity for this country.
We have a diaspora that is doing so well all over the world. And if we can partner with them and ensure that we bring them into the administrative initiatives and use them also to forge strategic partnerships with financial institutions all over the world, that would in no small way enhance the workings and the service delivery.
The most important thing with the trade agreement is to make sure that we go after optimizing the AFCFTA for Nigerian businesses, which means pragmatically supporting them at this time to export their products. With the investment agenda, it's really important that we retain domestic investment and aggressively attract new investment.
Now away from the presidential villa now, but operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested a former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, for alleged diversion of 1.3 trillion naira derivation fund from the Federation account between 2015 and 2023. Confirmed by an EFCC source to Channels Television, Mr. Okowa was arrested in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, when he reported at the Port Harcourt Directorate of the Commission on the invitation of investigators handling his matter. The former governor was alleged to have failed to render accounts of the funds, as well as another 40 billion naira he claims he used to acquire shares in UTM floating liquefied natural gas. Investigators are also looking into an alleged diversion of funds by the former governor to acquire estates in Abuja and in Delta State. Justice Obiora Igwatu of the Federal High Court Abuja has issued an arrest warrant against the managing director of Dana Air, Hathirimani Pranesh, over an alleged refusal to appear in court to stand trial after he was served with the charge and several proceedings taken in the matter. The judge held that in line with Section 184 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, the court can issue an arrest warrant against any defendant who refused to appear in court. He subsequently adjourned the matter to January the 13th, 2025 for hearing. On October the 10th, the federal government, through its lawyer, had prayed the court to issue a bench warrant for the arrest of Dana Air MD. She had argued that Pranesh had refused to appear for his arraignment in the charge preferred against him by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. But the defense lawyer had disagreed, arguing that they had filed a preliminary objection challenging the jurisdiction of the court to hear the matter and that the prosecution had already been served. And the Kano State branch of the Nigeria Medical Association is calling for the immediate sack of the State Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs, Amina Abdullahi, over what they describe as a lack of respect and compassion for frontline healthcare workers and disregard for ethical practices of the profession. In a statement released by the association, they allege that the commissioner orchestrated the harassment of a female doctor. At the pediatric unit of the Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital, the association gave an ultimatum of 48 hours from Monday for an immediate response from Governor Abba Yusuf, or it threatened to halt all medical services indefinitely across the country. The Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, PETROAN, has accused the Dangote refinery of trying to suppress competitors in the downstream sector. In a statement signed by its spokesperson, Joseph Obele, and in response to the refinery's claim that marketers are complaining of its petrol pricing because they want to import substandard products at a cheaper rate, PETROAN alleges that the accusation of importing substandard product by Dangote is a gimmick for attempting to maintain monopoly. The refinery had in an earlier statement disclosed that it sells petrol at 990 naira per litre in trucks and 960 naira per litre into ships, and insisted that only substandard products can be imported at cheaper rates than its rates. But the marketers maintain that consumers get the best value for pricing when competition is at its peak. Hence, competition should be encouraged. And citizens of the United States of America that will be outside our shores now troop out today to elect their leader for the next 4 years. And in what is billed to be a closely contested race between current Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, all eyes will be on America to find out who will be ushering the American nation into the new era. Of course, that will form part of our conversation also on the program. But in sports, Liverpool boss Arne Slot lauded Xabi Alonso's record at Bayer Leverkusen ahead of the Spaniards' return to Anfield in the Championships League on Tuesday with the German champions. Alonso, who scored as Liverpool won the 2005 Champions League final, was reportedly the Reds' top target to replace Jurgen Klopp as manager at the end of the last season. But the 42-year-old instead opted to remain in Germany, having led Leverkusen to their first ever Bundesliga title and the German Cup without losing a game, as well as reaching the Europa League final. Slot was handed the daunting task of succeeding Klopp, but has made a remarkable start with 13 wins and 1 draw from his opening 15 games in all competitions, and is hoping his side can maintain the good form when they welcome the Reds' legend to Anfield. So many big stories happening at the same time, but we're following all of the stories for you this morning.